How's it going, everybody? Constant Gaming Squad here, and today I will be talking about Kemba Walker and his upcoming free agency in the 2019 offseason. For the past few years, Kemba Walker has been wasting his prime years on a team that will not contend for the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. Michael Jordan and the Hornets front office has not given Kemba Walker any players that will help make the most out of Kemba Walker's prime years. Not only have they not given Kemba Walker the roster that he needs to compete, but they've also shown disloyalty to Kemba Walker by putting him in multiple trade talks despite Kemba Walker being nothing but loyal to the Hornets franchise. It's not often nowadays that we see superstars being loyal to their franchise and being so easy to work with. Nowadays we have every all-star coming out complaining about their roster, complaining that they don't have enough good players around them. Think of Jimmy Butler, LeBron James. But Kemba Walker, he's been performing amazingly, but not once have we seen him complain about the Hornets and their roster. Kemba Walker right now, in my opinion, is the best superstar to have mentality-wise, as he does not complain. All he does is come out and play basketball. Not once have we ever seen Kemba Walker in the headlines for anything besides basketball, and that is really amazing. But with that all being said, let's talk about Kemba Walker's free agents. Once the 2019 offseason ends, the big question is, where will Kemba Walker be?
It was just some token softy there by the scout.
Kemba finds Biombo! Just gorgeous two-man play. Kemba finds Cody, another two, and your Hornets making a nice little comeback.
Now, the clear candidate to sign Kemba Walker is still the Hornets, in my opinion. The Hornets still have the Supermax contract that they can offer to Kemba Walker, which is worth up to $200 million for 5 years, I believe. So they will be able to offer him the most money. But I still think that there is still a lot of question marks regarding Kemba Walker and his future in Charlotte. So in this video today, we will be looking at all the NBA teams, and we're going to be taking a look at which teams have an actual legitimate chance on signing Kemba Walker. So we're going to be looking at the current Eastern Conference and Western Conference standing, and then we're going to be eliminating each team that does not have a chance of signing him, and then we're going to be talking about the teams that do have the chance at signing him. So first of all, let's start with the Eastern Conference at the 1 seed with my Toronto Raptors. So right now they're 13-4. I don't think the Raptors have any chance. Let's just make that clear. They don't have enough cap space. They already have Kyle Lowry, so a point guard is not really needed. Kemba Walker, no chance to go into the Raptors unless he takes a veterans minimum, decides to come off the bench, but the Raptors, not a chance. Now the second seed, there is the Milwaukee Bucks. This one is, from a basketball standpoint, it is plausible the Bucks could trade away Eric Bledsoe to have Kemba Walker, but I just don't think it's gonna work out money-wise, just because Chris Middleton will also be a free agent and the Bucks' priority will be re-signing him. I don't think Kemba Walker will go to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now let's look at the third seed. There is the Indiana Pacers. Now this one also, from a basketball standpoint, would be really nice. I think Kemba Walker, Miles Turner, and Victor Oladipo, Domantas Sabonis, and their bench, which is actually pretty deep, can make a serious run in the East, but the Pacers do not have any cap space to sign Kemba Walker, so I don't think the Pacers will be a contender. The Philadelphia 76ers. Now this one is actually very possible if you think about it. They do have enough money to sign another all-star, another max player, if they trade away Markelle Fultz. So this whole decision for Kemba Walker to go to Philadelphia will have to do a lot with Philly and what they decide to do with Fultz. If they do give up hope on Fultz, then we could possibly see Kemba go there because they do have enough cap space. The starting lineup of Kemba Walker, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, and JJ Redick is a serious starting five and could make a push for the finals, in my opinion. So I think the Philadelphia 76ers are possible, but they have to trade away Markelle Fultz, which we'll have to see what happens there. The 76ers haven't yet given up hope on Fultz, so this has to do a lot with how the season plays out. If Fultz shows improvement, then I doubt they will do it. Now let's look at number 5, the Celtics. No chance. There's no cap space. Gordon Hayward's contract is just way too huge. They could possibly do a sign-in trade, I think, maybe with like Hayward and a pick. That's a possible option, but I doubt the Celtics will do that, especially especially with how well their roster is right now. Plus, they already have Kyrie Irving, so Celtics not a chance. Pistons, no cap space. Magic is actually a possible option if you think about it. They currently don't have any high-end point guards, so they could make a run from him. I'm not too sure about their cap space situation, but I'm sure they don't have any max contract players besides Aaron Gordon maybe. So yeah, money standpoint, basketball standpoint, the Magic are a plausible option, but I just don't think the Magic's roster is much better than the Hornets. So in the Hornets, Kemba could get more money and possibly a better roster than the Magic. So I don't think the Magic are that good of an option for him. So we're gonna take that off the list. It is possible, but I just don't think it'll happen. It's not much of a difference from Charlotte. Now let's look at number 8, Charlotte. They'll be able to offer him the most money. Plus he's been there for all of his career. Kemba's a loyal player from what we've seen. So the Charlotte Hornets are still the clear front runners. Number 9, we have the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets do have enough cap space to sign Kemba Walker, but the Nets do have bigger eyes in that free agent pool. They're going to be looking at Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins, possibly Kyrie Irving. I don't think Kemba Walker will be headed to Brooklyn just because I don't think they really want to have him. They already have D'Angelo Russell, so I doubt point guard will be their number one priority. The Miami Heat, this is possible. I believe they have to make a few trades to get Kemba Walker, but they'll also have to trade away Goran Dragic, who's recently an all-star. I don't know if they would be willing to make that many moves to get Kemba Walker. The roster is very nicely with Kemba Walker. I believe they can be a top 5 seed in the East, excuse me. But I just don't think the Heat are willing to make that many trades to acquire him. So that takes out the Miami Heat out of the conversation. At number 11, we have the Washington Wizards. Not possible. They don't have cap space. Plus, they already have John Wall. So that's not an option. Number 12, we have the New York Knicks. This is actually possible if you think about it. The Knicks are already, making moves to sign some big free agent players. We've already heard Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and rumors to be heading to the Knicks. But I think if neither of those guys head there, I could see Kemba Walker heading to New York to team up with Kristaps Porzingis and possibly push for the playoffs. I think the Knicks have a better roster than the Hornets. I think they could make a serious run in the East, so we'll put the Knicks as a possible option for Kemba Walker. Number 13, we have the Chicago Bulls. They don't have much cap space. They already signed Jabari Parker, Zach LaVine. Plus, they already have Chris Dunn, who they're going to be trying to develop at the point guard position. Kemba Walker doesn't fit with their timeline, and that just takes them out as an option. The Atlanta Hawks, they have Trae Young. Not much cap space either. The Cleveland Cavaliers, I don't know. They might have the cap space for him. I actually doubt it since they did sign Kevin Love to that Supermax deal. Also, they don't have that good of a roster, so I think he's better off staying at Charlotte, so the Cavaliers are not that good of an option for him. Just to recap everything from the Eastern Conference, we've concluded that there are only 2 real candidates in the East to sign Kemba Walker, those 2 being the Charlotte Hornets and the New York Knicks. The rest of the teams are either A, cannot have enough money to sign him, or B, already have a player at the point guard position. Now let's look at the Western Conference. Number 1, we have the Warriors. Not a chance. They have Steph Curry, no cap space. Let's take them out of there. The Trailblazers, they already have Damian Lillard. Thunder already have Russell Westbrook. The Clippers, they do actually have cap space, but I'm sure they're going to be looking to sign other players such as Kawhi Leonard or Klay Thompson. Plus, they already have Shai at the point guard position, who they will be looking to develop. So I think that takes them out as a contender. The Grizzlies already have Mike Conley. The Nuggets, I don't know about that. They already have Gary Harris and Jamal Murray at the point guard and shooting guard position. I don't know if they're going to be looking to add Kemba Walker to that roster. Plus, he doesn't really fit with their timeline, to be honest. So that takes them out of the conversation. Let's look at the number 7 seed, the Pelicans. Now, this one I could legitimately see happening because let's take a look at the situation the Pelicans are at right now. So they have Anthony Davis, who's a top 5 player in the NBA for sure, and he's going to become a free agent soon. In order to keep Anthony Davis, the Pelicans will have to make some major moves, and this will have to do a lot with how their roster is constructed. The Pelicans for the past few years have set up a mediocre squad for Anthony Davis, besides those past 2 seasons with DeMarcus Cousins, which really did not succeed much because of injuries. The first year also being their first year, not being able to mesh well. So the Pelicans, I'm not sure about the cap space situation. I'm sure they can make some trades to acquire him, so we'll add them to this list. I think Kemba Walker and Anthony Davis could be a serious threat out west. Definitely a sleeper team to make the playoffs. Let's look at the number 8 seed, the Rockets. Not a chance, no cap space, already have James Harden and Chris Paul. The Lakers, I actually could see this happening. Prior to the beginning of this season, there were rumors that the Cavs were looking to add Kemba Walker to the Cavaliers by making a few trades in order to convince LeBron James to sign. So possibly LeBron could have some sort of connection with Kemba Walker, and maybe, you know, he could help recruit him to the Lakers. I think this is possible. The Lakers do have 2 max contract cap spaces that they can sign to 2 all-stars in the free agency. They could sign possibly Kemba Walker and Klay Thompson, even though the bench will be like full of a bunch of G Leaguers. But the Lakers actually legitimately a contender to sign Kemba Walker. We'll add him to that list. The Utah Jazz, I don't know if this one works contract wise. The Jazz do have Ricky Rubio, but I'm sure they'll trade him away for Kemba Walker. But I don't think it's gonna work out contract wise. They already have Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert signed soon, so yeah, I don't think the Jazz will be it. The Kings, they already have De'Aaron Fox, plus Kemba doesn't fit their timeline. The Spurs, actually this could happen if the Spurs do make a few trades, say trade away Paul Gasol, but they already do have DeJounte Murray, so I don't think the Spurs will be looking to bench DeJounte Murray. I feel like they're going all in with him and his development. I think more likely they decide to sign someone else. I don't think Kemba Walker will be headed to the Spurs just because the Spurs are so committed to DeJounte Murray. I think he'll be a great fit on the Spurs, but they don't really need him on that squad. Let's take a look at the number 13, the Mavericks. I don't know, this could work basketball wise. You can move Doncic to the shooting guard position, Kemba at the 1. That would be a pretty good squad, but then they already have Dennis Smith Jr. at the point guard position, so I don't really see the point of adding him to that squad. Number 14, we have the Timberwolves. Doesn't really work cap space wise. Basketball wise would be alright. Jeff Teague is not that good, to be honest. I think Timberwolves could be a serious team with Kemba Walker, Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns, also Robert Covington and Dario Saric. That could be a pretty decent squad if you think about it, but I just don't think the Timberwolves will be willing to make trades and stuff like that to sign Kemba Walker. That brings us to our last team, which is the Phoenix Suns. I think this team in the West possibly has the highest chance of signing him. I know that the Suns are actually a really bad team right now, even worse than the Hornets, but I think they can be a better team if they sign Kemba Walker. If you think about it, the Suns are packed. They have, let's see, they have Devin Booker, Josh Jackson, TJ Warren, DeAndre Ayton, and so many other young players that they can use. I feel like those 4 players I just mentioned could take a major step next season, and you add Kemba Walker to that, I could see them making the playoffs if I'm being honest. I'm not too sure about their cap space situation, but if they can make it work, I think the Suns could be in actual playoffs. So now this brings us to the 5 teams we've concluded after looking at all 30 teams in the NBA. We have 5 teams here, the first being the Hornets, the Knicks, the Pelicans, Lakers, Suns, and from these 5 teams, I think the team most likely to sign him is the Hornets, to be honest. I know Jordan and the front office hasn't done much to convince Kemba to stay in Charlotte, but I think the mixture of the super max contract, which he will almost certainly get, is going to definitely convince him to sign there. Also, that's the team that drafted him. I'm sure he would like to finish his career there. So the Hornets, I think, are the major candidates to sign the Knicks. If they don't sign someone like Kevin Durant or Kyrie or any of those other free agents that are rumored to go there, I think he could go to the Knicks if they can make it work out there. Frank Ntilikina, he's not that good at the moment. I'm sure they would like to have Kemba as someone who can mentor Frank, help him become a better player. But I don't think the Knicks will be that good of a candidate for him, especially if they are able to pick up another all-star free agent. The Pelicans, again, this has to do a lot with how desperate the front office is. If they're all into convincing Anthony Davis to sign, then they could seriously have a chance at signing Kemba Walker. I'm sure Kemba would love to win, but I don't know about the situation out west for him to go there. The Lakers, I don't know. A lot of all-stars don't seem to want to play with LeBron. We've seen Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and so many other free agents just decide not to go and play with LeBron. So I'm not sure about that, but I'm sure LeBron would love to have Kemba Walker. They can also offer him a max contract while also being a contender. I think Kemba wouldn't mind heading there, but the Lakers will have to decide if they want to send Lonzo to the bench, which really wouldn't be that good of an option considering their real plan is for Lonzo and the young core. The Suns, again, I think this can happen if they decide to make trades for him, if the Suns are desperate to make the playoffs, but I'm not too sure about that. I feel like the Suns know that they're not good enough to compete for a championship, so I feel like they are tanking purposefully to pick up another high-end lottery pick, maybe like an RJ Barrett, maybe Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish, Nasir Little. Really, I don't know if Kemba Walker will be looking to head to the Suns, and I don't think the Suns will really be looking to add him. So that really concludes the video. I think the two major candidates, or the three I should say, are the Hornets, the Lakers, and the Pelicans. Let me know how you guys feel about this. Which team would you guys like to see Kemba Walker? Personally, I would love to see him stay in Charlotte just so he could get the super max deal that he earned. But that's all for this video. Make sure to drop multiple likes on this video, comment what you guys think, subscribe to the channel, and peace.